Welcome to MagiReco News. I'm your anchor, the Razielem, the lighthouse of news. Moving on to our top story today, we have once again a new round of stuff having to do with the last Magia event and Chapter 5 on the English server. We do have one thing that goes in tandem with the release of Chapter 5, which is Iroha's 5-star awakening and her double challenge, where, well, if you kind of say that her hood that she's wearing, if you say that is a cap, you could say that her losing that hood is an uncap. So she's getting her 5-star uncap with double missions, nothing too special. She gets a training. Apparently it doesn't have a story alongside it, so that will suck, because we're actually missing a few trainings that have story. For example, we didn't get the Kaede training, which does have story. I think there's also another training event that also had a story, which we also didn't get. I'm not quite sure which one that was. But yeah, I think we're missing some story when it comes to training events, and we might not ever get them, because once those characters got uncapped like Kaede, they just didn't get that event. Maybe we'll get that sometime in the future, who knows. Moving on though, we also got this smuggler lady right here. I think she's called Mary Poppins. So Mary Poppins has getting released, and she has her own Fate Weave with a bunch of other cards. I'm going to go over this Fate Weave, of course, in another video that is going to come up right after this. Well, maybe not right after this, but later on after this, later this day, we're going to talk about how good the Mary Poppins Fate Weave actually is, and that will be it for that. However, of course, it says right here the main story releases. We're going to get these episodes, we're getting a refresh on all the stuff we've already heard before, but I have a little bit of a special thing for you, because we found some datamines. And this datamine, and let me tell you, is nothing special whatsoever, because we already knew that we're going to get this sleepy girl right here. Her assets have been found, translated in the game files, but she's on JP, she came out right after Toka, and everyone was like, yeah, she's definitely gonna come out right after Toka. So right after Toka, when does this end? It starts so on 24th. That's right before anniversary. Maybe not right after Toka, but somewhere around that vicinity. We're also going to get Nimue as well. And she's going to maybe not wake up, but she's going to sleep her way into your team. That sounds really bad. She's sleepy all the time. I'm trying to make a joke about that, but it doesn't quite work. Anyway, more importantly, we have a bunch of stuff from the Japanese server. Some of this stuff is interesting, some of this stuff not so much. So we have some new information that came out a few days ago, but like I said, I'm not making news specifically when the Japanese stuff comes out. I'm making news when American stuff comes out, because most of my people watching me care about the English news. So what do we have? We have a whole bunch of news that all pretty much tell us the same thing. Hey, Tart is coming back. And we've got 5 different news telling us Tart is coming back. So this might actually started today. So if you're watching this the day the video comes out, the event is live right now. First off, we have Spirit Enhancement for all the different Tart characters. Look how many Tart characters there are, and they're going to add even more, even though we still only have 3 Kashmir characters. Where are the fucking Kashmir characters? So we have the Spirit Enhancements for these. Usually I don't look over the Spirit Enhancements, but for these characters, since they're a bit notorious, especially Tart, for being so powerful, and Tart was known as the toppest tier character on Japanese server for over 1.5 years. I did take a look at their Spirit Enhancement, and as it turns out, Tart is actually terrible. She gets only a little bit more attack and a shit ton of defense and HP, and her passive, her signature passive, of course every character gets 10 or so passives, but there's always this one passive that they usually pick out. It's this is their signature passive. This is the passive that is very important for them and that makes them special. And the one they picked out is Anti-Curse. She's immune to Curse now, which is awesome, because Curse is a terrible effect, but the thing is, most people already ran a My Bible on Tart anyway. So I guess you can swap that out for something else now. Not too amazing, because it's not really the Playmaker kind of move that you want. And her active is HP regen and damage cut. It's completely 100% defensive, and yeah, people usually like Tart because she can farm really fast with 3 blast discs and having good stats, and not get targeted in PvP, because actually do get targeted in PvP with yeah, no, she doesn't get targeted in PvP because she has that high defense. So she had high defense and high attack, so she doesn't get targeted but she does deals high damage. Doesn't really matter now anyway, because she's going full tank. Turret is now full tank with SE. Great. More importantly though, her girlfriend, her goth emo girlfriend, is now actually pretty darn insane. She has passively as her signature ignore defense chance is like 15%. Not a whole lot, but the thing is 15% ignore defense might as well say 15% chance to one-shot anyone, because if you have an attack focused character in PvP, I'll bring this up probably a lot more times in other videos as well. If you have an attack focused character in PvP and they proc defense pierce, it's pretty much a one-shot on almost everyone. So she has like a 15% chance to kill anyone in one hit in PvP, which if you don't want to kill anyone, if you want to keep people alive, sucks. But if you want to kill people, that's amazing. Not that amazing in PvE, but still pretty awesome. And her active just gives her a shit ton of attack. It's like attack up 7, which is like 35% or something, or 40%. I think it's 40% or 45%. Like pretty darn high attack up is her active, which is just like, yeah, whatever, just shit tons of attack up. Why not? Which means you can actually run multiple damage out and blast, maybe even blast memory on her. Maybe not, who knows. If you play with Kazumi, it's going to be amazing. Kazumi has probably the best blast character in the entire game, because Kazumi gives blast up and defense ignore. So if you gave this a blast combo from a Kazumi connect, the amount of damage this does will be so incredibly insane, it's actually not even funny. I can't even laugh about how insane that is, because damn. And then Elise is just like, okay, she also has very similar stuff. She has a passive chance to chase, like Ren does, and her active is she also gains a bunch of attack, and she also gains defense ignore. Wow, she also gains defense ignore chance. Just a chance, but still pretty good. So these SEs are actually pretty good. So Elisa and Liz are getting pretty good, or sorry, not Liz, it's actually Liz, because it comes from Elizabeth. And the last time I checked, people write Elizabeth and not Elizabeth. But you know, Japanese people can't write an L, so they write this. But people will still go and be like, no, it has to be an R, because here, do you see this? It says ri, it has to be an R, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't care, it's this. So by the way, about Elisa, sorry, is it actually Elisa? Because you guys, according to you guys, it should be Elisa. Okay, not more about that. Did you guys know that? Yeah, did you guys know that her doppel is actually called Ein roter Drache? And Ein roter Drache literally just means a red dragon. The actual names for their doppels are like completely straightforward and kind of dumb. I think the doppel for Melissa is just like angry, 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 or something like that. What are these names? Moving on though, by the way, Melissa isn't a 5-star on the Japanese server. I didn't actually look into her stuff, because I can just read the text right here. It says Magia Adept, which is Magia damage up, and this is also Magia up, which is also Magia up. So even though I didn't actually look at it translated, I can just read that it says Magia, 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 Magia. So if you want Magia, sure, whatever. Moving on though, we have a bunch of other news. It's the gacha for Liz coming back. It's the gacha for Tart coming back. It's the gacha for Elisa coming back. And Kobo, if you want the Crow Girl as well. She's not that great, even though she's kind of overpowered in the lore. More importantly though, we have a rerun of the second Tart event. So this is a thing. I think it's called like Rebels in the Land of Everlasting Night or something. I think that's what this one is called. It's just the second Tart event where Elisa and Tart and some other stuff is happening. What is this image? What? That can't be right. So, more importantly, the actual only bit of important stuff from all of this news, other than, hey, Liz and Elisa are pretty darn good, especially Liz. This is actually amazing now. And Tart is just a tank. Apart from that sort of information, the only real information that you need to know buried in all of this is that apparently a third Tart event is coming sometime later, maybe July or something. We're going to have every single Tart character in the game, and we still only have like 1/5 of all the Kazumi characters in the game. Why? Do the devs really hate Kazumi this much? Well, I guess that was the news. Hope someday Kazumi is gonna come, but until then we're just gonna have to make do with so much Tart, man. much turret. I don't dislike turret. It's just kind of just getting a little bit silly. Just how much turret stuff we've got. We've gotten so many turret events and so many turret reruns, and Kazumi has never ever been rerun. You know the characters from Kazumi from the gacha, that has ever been rerun like once or twice as part of other gachas, and Umika, the free character from the Kazumi event. People have never gotten another chance to get Umika. If you didn't get Umika, like right when the game launched almost on the Japanese server, you couldn't get her again. So you either got her almost at launch, like right after launch, or you never got her. Kind of ridiculous in my opinion, if you think about it. Also, Kazumi has, like I said, probably the best blast in the entire game. At least for mirrors, so hopefully they make something happen about that. I mean, when she gets Spirit Enhancement, they're going to have her rerun at least the gacha. But the thing is, they can't just rerun her gacha and once again ignore her event. But maybe when they rerun her for Spirit Enhancement, hopefully they also give us an event. Please just give us a Kazumi event. There's like 10 more characters in that, like 12 more characters in Kazumi. Like, give us that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and I'll see you guys next time.